Welcome to step 10. We are going to now fill in the gaps of some of the notes we learned just a couple steps ago. We've learned how to read and play the notes C, D, and F, and G. We now are going to learn the open strings between B and C, which second string open is B, and C is just one fret. The distance between E, open first string, and F, again, is one fret. This is going to be important because everywhere where we have the natural tones, the distance between E and F and B and C is just one fret. All the others will be two frets. We are going to do a scale starting on the note C. We're going to go down to B, back up to C, D, and then we're going to go up to the first string, open first string, E, F, and G. Here we go, starting on C. Ready? C, open B, C, D, open first string, E, F, G, F, E, open, D, C, B, and C. So when you practice the scale, a couple little things to keep in mind. When you go up from C to D, don't forget to use your fourth finger. Keep the fingers very even with the frets. You can leave the first finger down when you play the note D. When you go to E, remember you're going to move your hand over a little bit to prepare your left hand for the note F and G, because you're going to now play from the second string, you're going to the first string. So you want the fingers over the first string. When you go down the scale, leave these two fingers down, so that when you play G, you only have to lift the fourth finger to play F, and then open first string. And when you play the open first string, move your hand over to prepare for the note D. And when you do, put the fourth finger down, include the first finger on the note C. So we'll play D first, but we'll already be fingering the note C. Then lift the fourth finger first and that. Let's do that scale one more time with all of this stuff in mind. Ready? Okay. Down, up, C, B, C again, add the fourth finger, D, open first string and move your hand over string, F, G, back down to F, open E, move your fingers over one string, D, C, B, and C. The scale we just played through is an excellent way to warm up your hand. So far we've learned a pattern scale in 7th position, a pentatonic, and we learned a blues song using a pentatonic scale in 1st position. And now we've learned a C scale in 1st position, starting playing on the note C and going up to the note G. But there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Now you may ask yourself, what should your right hand be doing? Move the thumb with the hand when you're going from string 2 to string 1. And the scale would be a great place to practice doing that. We're now going to take a look at reading notes using the note B and E. You'll notice that the note B was on the middle line, one line below the note C. And the note E was on a space, on the top space, just below the note F, which is on the top line. Our first song in today's step is a piece called Haiku. Haiku is a poetic form, the first line of which uses 5 syllables. And this song uses a pentatonic scale, a 5-tone scale. That's the correlation. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the first measure, and you're going to notice it will demonstrate exactly what we were just talking about. The first 2 notes are on the line, the middle line and the second line. The next 2 notes of the first measure are on 2 spaces, the top space and the space above the top space. So the note names are B, D, E, and G. Very good. So let's take a look at the first line a little bit and see after that what are the names of the notes. So as you're looking through this, maybe you're starting to be looking for whether the notes are on the line or on the spaces. For instance, in measure 2, you notice the first note was on a space, but the next two notes were on the second to top line and the middle line, which should tell you immediately that those notes are on string 2, as discussed. And then the next measure started on the note D, which again was on a line, but the next three notes that followed that were on spaces, yes. And those three notes were all on the first string. So as you start to play through this piece, my hope is you're starting to identify what strings certain notes are, what notes are the dividing line, so to speak, between notes on the second string and notes on the first string in first position. Our next piece is a piece in a blues style, 12-bar blues style, called Easy Does It, and it uses exactly the same scale, yet they sound so different. This is due to a stylistic element, but the vocabulary, in terms of the scale, is exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to tackle measure 1, and as you look at measure 1, you'll notice that we've got three notes on a line. That makes them on the second string, and that's going to be B, D, B. Good. And the next three notes are on spaces. That makes them on the first string in this case. E, G, E. Excellent. So now we're going to repeat that. We'll look at the notes, say the names of the notes first. Okay, let's try that again. B, D, B, and E, G, E. The rhythm, if we run across a rhythm that's difficult or a little bit troublesome, don't be afraid to practice that separately. We'll demonstrate right now what you could do to practice that. So, say for instance you're looking at the rhythm and you're noticing as soon as you're playing the notes and trying to read them that you're having trouble with the rhythm, practice the rhythm, and you can mute the strings. Using your right hand, do the rhythm. Let's practice that just for the fun of it. Okay, ready? 2 eighth notes and a quarter. Down, up, down. And the next one is also down, up, down. Repeat it. Again. Can you say the names of the notes with that? B, D, B, E, G, E. That may have been much more difficult than just doing the rhythm. You'll notice that when we start combining things together, doing rhythm and identifying the notes, trying to find them on the fretboard, is pretty complicated. It will become a piece of cake soon. So don't be afraid to do what you just did and repeat that a few times to get the knack of it. Now we're going to add the left hand and we're going to play the notes. B, D, B, and shift, E, G, E. And you're seeing I'm actually practicing moving my fingers as I was doing that. Excellent. Great work. Okay, the next measure's got only 8 notes, and so there's a lot of notes to look at. Let's say the names of those notes. G, E, D, B. Okay, well, you may have noticed that those first 4 notes were the same notes we played before, but now they're going down in sequence. Of course, we're skipping F and we're skipping C. So it was going G, E, D, B. Okay, so as you're reading it, we're trying to memorize and feel really comfortable with note recognition, but also to get the sequence of the notes. The last 4 notes went E, D, B, D. Okay, the last 4 notes of that measure went E, D, B, D. So the last 3 notes of what we just said were all on the second string. Keep that in mind. So there was only one note in the last group that was on the first string, and it was an open string. So we've now organized those notes in our head. We're going to picture them on the fretboard, but we're going to say the notes out loud. Okay, starting with G. Ready? G, E, D, B, open E, E, D, B, D. Maybe you're feeling a little more confident. I always recommend 4 times because I've noticed throughout the years of my teaching that the third and fourth repetition is the easiest and the most solid. The first 2 sometimes can be a learning experience. Okay, let's finger the notes with the left hand, not play anything, but these are all 8th notes, so it's just going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's see if we can do that with the left hand. Ready? G, E, D, B, open E, D, B, D. Aha! We discovered something else. That after you made the initial switch to the second string, the hand should stay right here over string 2. Because the next open string, the next note on the first string is open. You don't have to move the hand. Again, this is a really great way to practice because it'll help you solidify where these notes are, and you'll have the first part of the song memorized before you know it. The last 2 bars have a little bit of a tricky rhythm in it. You'll see an 8th note and a quarter note with a dot. The dot represents half the value of the note and it extends it by half a beat. So that will mean that the dotted quarter note will get 3 half beats or 1.5 beats. Yeah? The 8th note before it will get half a beat. So you'll have a rhythm that'll go down, up, and nothing on 2. Down, up, and then you'll miss for a beat. Down, up. So the notes will go E, D, D, B, D, D. Okay, let's play it together. Just the first line. Get your hand prepared. Put the fingers on the second string. Remember, we're not going to have any first finger, so it's going to be B, D, B. There we go. And we'll get 2 free beats. Down, up, up. E, D, B, E, G. G. Open E. Let's repeat that one more time. I'll add some chords in there. Thus concludes step 10, filling in the gaps, covering the open strings on string 2 and string 1, the notes B and the note E. We have done 2 songs this week that are in a pentatonic scale. We kind of excluded F and C, but we'll get a chance to utilize those notes coming up soon. Main goals this time is being able to recognize the notes on string 2 and string 1 quicker, and particularly to be able to identify the names of these notes. I hope that you'll enjoy a trip to the Far East with the song Haiku and the blues with Easy Does It. Have a great week of practice. See you next time.